You know, for decades, self-driving cars were just something you'd see in the movies, pure science fiction. But today, they're actually on our streets, and they promise to completely revolutionize the way we get around, with fewer accidents, way less traffic, and a whole lot more freedom.
But, and this is a huge but, this incredible leap forward brings a massive, unresolved question with it. When a machine is in the driver's seat, what happens when things go wrong? This amazing promise of a safer world is built on some seriously complex technology, and that tech will, inevitably, face situations it just wasn't prepared for.
So in this explainer, we're going to break down this whole legal and ethical maze. First, we'll dive into the dream of autonomous cars, and then we'll tackle that tough question of who's responsible when something goes wrong. We'll also clear up the different levels of automation, check out some new legal ideas, and finally, try to weigh that delicate balance between innovation and accountability.
Okay, so let's start with the vision. Why are we pouring billions and billions of dollars into this technology? The dream isn't just about, kicking back and relaxing on your commute. It's about fundamentally re-engineering our entire transportation system for the better.
I mean, the big picture goals here are huge. Get this, over 90% of car accidents are caused by human error. The potential to save lives is just immense. Then you add in the efficiency of cars talking to each other to cut down on traffic jams, plus a big shift toward electric power to slash emissions. The benefits could literally reshape our world. But this whole dream runs headfirst into a problem our legal system was never, ever designed to handle.
So what happens when that dream hits a bump in the road? A literal one. Because even with fewer accidents overall, some will still happen. And when they do, our legal system, which is built entirely around human accountability, well, it faces a real crisis.
And that brings us to the single biggest question at the heart of this whole dilemma. When a self-driving car crashes, who's to blame? Who pays for the damages? Who's held accountable for an injury or even a death? The answer is anything but simple. I mean, just think about how complicated this gets. In a normal accident, you've maybe got two drivers to deal with. But with a self-driving car, you have this whole long chain of potential responsibility. Was it the owner who forgot to update the software? The car's manufacturer? Maybe the programmer who wrote a faulty line of code? Or how about the company that provided a bad digital map? And believe me, this isn't just a theoretical problem anymore.
Back in 2018, this became tragically real. An autonomous Uber test vehicle struck and killed a pedestrian in Arizona. The investigation found that the car's sensors actually saw the person, but the algorithm struggled to figure out what it was seeing until it was just too late. That case threw all of these legal questions right into the spotlight and showed everyone that the stakes here are literally life and death.
Okay, to really get a grip on this legal mess, you have to understand that self-driving isn't just, one thing. It's not an on or off switch. It's a whole spectrum, and it's broken down into some very distinct levels.
The Society of Automotive Engineers defines 6 of them. So, level 0? That's your classic car. You do everything. Level 1 gives you a single assist, like cruise control. Level 2, which is where systems like Tesla's Autopilot are today, handles both steering and speed. But, and this is key, you have to stay alert. Now, level 3 is the big jump. Here, the car drives itself under certain conditions, and you can actually look away. Level 4 is full self-driving, but only in a specific mapped-out area like a city center or a college campus. And level 5, well, that's the holy grail, a car that can drive itself anywhere, anytime, no human needed. Maybe not even a steering wheel.
And right there, that is the legal tipping point. At level 2, you are still the driver. The law says you're responsible. But the second you hit level 3, that responsibility fundamentally shifts from the human to the machine, and by extension, to whoever made it. This is exactly where our old laws start to fall apart.
So how does the law cope with this? The simple answer is, it can't. Not as it's written today. Trying to apply our current traffic laws to a level 4 autonomous car is like trying to apply horse and buggy laws to a Formula 1 race. It just doesn't work.
See, our current system for accidents is fundamentally human-centric. To hold someone responsible, you have to prove 3 things: that they were at fault, they made a mistake, that there was damage, someone got hurt, and that the fault caused that damage. It all boils down to finding the human who messed up.
And right there, that's the problem. An AI doesn't get distracted checking its phone or drive drunk. It makes a cold, calculated decision based on its programming and what its sensors are telling it. Can an algorithm be at fault in the same way a person can? The traditional legal model it doesn't compute. So, what's the solution?
Well, one of the main ideas being proposed is a shift to something called objective liability. The idea here is to stop trying to prove fault and instead focus on risk. In this model, the manufacturer is held responsible simply because they're the ones who created the technology, they profit from it, and they are in the absolute best position to manage and insure against that risk. It's a total paradigm shift, from blaming an individual to managing a system.
But that's not the only idea on the table. Some are suggesting shared liability, where blame could be split between, say, the car maker and a separate company that provided the software. Others are pushing for compensation funds, where all the manufacturers pay into a big pot to pay victims quickly so they can avoid these long, drawn-out court battles. And maybe, most important of all, there's a big push for algorithmic transparency, basically forcing companies to open up the AI's black box so we can actually understand why it made the choices it did.
So, this all leads us to the final, really critical point. We are at a crossroads, trying to build the legal and ethical guardrails for a technology that is evolving way faster than our laws can possibly keep up with. A quote from one of our sources really just nails it. The goal isn't to stop progress. The goal is to build a legal system capable of protecting rights without hindering innovation. It's about creating a framework that gives us clear accountability while still letting us unlock all the incredible benefits of this technology.
And this leaves us with one final fascinating question to chew on. As we get ready to hand over literal life and death decisions to machines, we have to decide how we're going to govern them. Ultimately, we have to choose where we place our trust, in the cold, hard logic of an algorithm or in the evolving wisdom of our laws. The answer to that is going to define the roads of tomorrow.